Holy Candace-Spiracy, Batman. I just finished watching Candace Owens, and we got a lot to talk about in this episode. The first thing that I think of right out of the gate is something is off. Something is off. We're going to talk about this. We're going to do a deep dive on what's going on here, and we're going to play some clips from Candace Owens' latest podcast. And I want to get your feedback as well as we go in the comments. What do you think? Do you think Candace sold out? Do you think she was bought out? Do you think she was a clone? What do you think is actually going on? Are we being duped? Are we being duped? Because if you had asked me this 72 hours ago, I would have said, go away. Go away. Because huge fan of Candace Owens, huge fan of Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, all the others, Megyn Kelly, goes on and on and on. But something's different. Something is different. I can't quite put my finger on it. But welcome to Black Swan Revelations.
In a dark world, remember to be the light. Welcome to Black Swan Revelations. Here is your host, the Black Swan himself, Shane.
All right. Welcome to the show. Got lots to cover today. My goodness. What a difference 72 hours makes. Telling you. Friday, Candace Owens doesn't do her daily podcast. She usually goes Monday to Friday. For some reason, no communication, just no show. Then we find out later she's on Jimmy Dore doing her thing there. Again, it's up to her wherever she wants to go. That's fine. Then we find out that night or Saturday through Erika Kirk that her and Candace Owens are in talks to meet. Everybody's like, oh, that's cool. And everyone else, and like, it's almost like a split. That's cool. It's good you're talking. I even mentioned, I said, it's a shame that they didn't get together. I would have asked Candace Owens on my channel right out of the gate after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. They didn't do that. They ended up having a bit of a fight back and forth. He said, she said, all this. And then I guess via Megyn Kelly, it was arranged that Erika Kirk and Candace Owens would meet. And Erika, I don't think she flew an Egyptian plane, but she flew to see Candace Owens, and they talked. Behind closed doors. They never recorded it. And it's interesting because on a previous show, I think it was on CBS? I think it was on CBS, the interview this past weekend on Saturday, where Erika Kirk was asked about her thoughts about doing live or pre-recorded stuff. And she says, Charlie Kirk would have hated that. He wanted it live. So, like Neff said, they were going to go live and talk about all the talking points that Candace Owens had brought up and then other people have brought up. They're just going to go through the list. And they were formally inviting Candace to their studio. Candace declined, said she's too busy. Her husband's got this day booked, all this kind of stuff, but I can do it virtually. That never happened. And then I guess Erika flew to see Candace, and they had a private meeting. They should have recorded it. Honestly, they should have recorded it. It would have made it so easy for us to kind of chime in and everything. But instead, we now get he said, she said, as to the best of Candace Owens' memory. Because, yeah, it's so much. It was 4.5 hours. What are you going to remember in 4.5 hours? Like, unless you're recording it and all this kind of stuff. So, anyways, that's just not the way she normally flows. That's not her mojo, is to not record stuff and to have private meetings. Like, let's just go to the comments on her channel before we show the video. Let's just go right to the comments and see what people are feeling. I'll just scroll through them and I'll just read a few of them, and feel free to comment if you've seen Candace, if you've watched the episode. She usually goes for about an hour. Let's just read this. Transparency, this was an hour ago, is never found in private meetings. That's where deals are made. It's a big club and we aren't in it. My advice is to put the phones down and go outside. I agree. These people can't be trusted. After all of this, I don't trust anyone. The truth is never coming out of any of this, from Epstein to Kirk. And I mentioned that in one of my multiverse videos talking about we live in a simulation. I said, here's the reason why Candace Owens will never figure out the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who did it, all this kind of stuff. So go check out that episode. Basically, I was just talking about the idea that the narrative changes. You go to bed one night, the next day the narrative is changed. All of a sudden, Candace Owens and Erika Kirk are besties, best friends. Just all of a sudden, just like that, unbeknownst to us. So now you feel a little bit sheepish coming against Erika Kirk, because meanwhile they're best friends. Who knew? We the people may never allowed to know. We know, but we don't know. But we know. This episode is truly fake and gay. How ironic. Isn't that interesting? The number one podcast on the planet is now fake and gay. Weird, right? I'm telling you, this can happen to anybody. This can happen to my channel, where people just turn on a dime like that. But this time I still feel like we've been sucker punched. I feel it. I feel that way. I feel something happen where we're being duped a little bit. And I watched the whole episode and I haven't changed my mind yet. It's bizarre, man. We learned nothing, absolutely nothing. This line by Candace had me stop at this video. People should stop donating. And that was aggressive. That was aggressive of me. Full. So it's interesting that Candace Owens had said that, had been on record saying that about Turning Point, saying people should stop supporting them. And then in today's episode, she apologized for that. So what if people did that to her and said, hey, I'm unsubscribing to you. I'm not donating or anything, right? Goes around, I'm telling you. Meeting privately was a serious mistake in judgment. The people know something is off, and we're not here for it. 4.5 hours of conversation, and yet we, the people, are still confused as frogs. A 4.5 hour meeting, and we get 30 minutes of backpedaling and then move on to Tim Pool. Exactly. That's what I felt. What the F-bomb did we just watch? My sentiments, exactly. Let's see what the comments say in there. She did a lot of talking and still don't know what happened in the meeting. Let's all take a guess and start our own conspiracy, since she's not being transparent. Candace was paid off, or Erika Kirk is a reptilian and hypnotized Candace. No, Candace is one of them. A shill, paid for. Her father-in-law and husband, top tier, Freemasons. No one makes it to the top. Or they were never actually reptiles, but mermaids. Like, it goes on and on, folks. Like, it is bad. I just go, like there's 20,000 comments here. I know there were more. I even took pictures of the comments because Candace was starting to say things like, these are just bots. I've never seen so many bots in here where people are saying, Candace, what are you talking about? Why all of a sudden the turn? Like, what happened to you? She's like, bots, all of you, you're all bots. And she said, this is why I just watch the show afterwards, because then they can clean up the comments. And I'm seeing it right here. But it's still, I just started watching. Is it just nothing? My heart is heavy. Grifters, grifting. Like, it goes on, folks. Like, this is thousands of comments against Candace Owens. Well, damn, it's a big club and none of us are in it. The government and the media is so screwed. Everything felt fake and gay. And that's from my gut instincts and critical thinking. Again, Candace has taught us to think critically. And it feels like you sold out a little bit, Candace. Something happened. I don't know what it is. Look at this. It just goes on and on and on and on. I can just pick anywhere. Let's see. Was there a positive? Well, this has been fun. Time to start watching workout videos again. Dan Flood said Charlie said the left is going to kill him. Who on earth believes that he would phrase it that way if it was who he was referring to? Ridiculous. So she mentioned something about Dan Flood. Charlie Kirk investigation just officially ended. I agree. I feel like just closing the book, closing the chapter on this, and then just moving on to something else. Y'all, I'm going to say it. We don't know, but we know. The entire vibe is different. I'm so disappointed. I want out of this psyop. Like, man, I could scroll. Let me just scroll. I'll scroll down a few thousand, and let's just pick. Candace got Shabbat Shalom. I sadly thought she may control the opposition for quite some time now. It's a shame we can't trust anyone or anything, and it goes on and on. In 5 years, we're going to ask whatever happened to Candace Owens. This is what, like, folks, I'm not kidding. I can scroll. They're all negative, almost 100% negative. This is not good. This is not a good look for Candace. I'm telling you. Okay, let's watch the opening of this video.
Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everybody back at home. Happy Hanukkah to our greatest friends and allies. And, this is a good time to mention that Israel does have a right to defend itself. Tucker Carlson is Adolf Hitler. And TikTok does need to be purchased by the Mossad. It's just how I'm feeling today. I am not different. Maybe you are different. Welcome back to Candace.
That was a weird opening. I got to tell you. That was a weird vibe for me because Hanukkah just began over the weekend and 16 Jews, as far as we know, were slaughtered out on the beach during Hanukkah. Bondi Beach. And she starts off, and we know she does not like Israel. We know that right out of the gate. So it's kind of a weird opening. The reason why she did this is because people were saying in one of the shorts that she had put out when she had mentioned, maybe we'll play that now. It's kind of weird in hindsight. But people were saying, Candace, if you've been compromised, say Shabbat Shalom at the beginning, something like that. And she's never done that ever. And they've also said things like wear some kind of a purple cloth or something, just to give us a hint that you've been compromised or something, if you can't tell us. And then she starts off by saying, Shabbat Shalom. Felt a little bit mockery going on, a little bit of a mockery. And it's just, I'm telling you, it's a weird vibe. Let's see here. Let me just see what people are saying. The Candace show was crazy. Let's see. Watching. I don't know. There's You want to talk about conspiracy after the program here? Go read about the movie Snake Eyes. Yeah, Cage Tyler, Executioner. Yeah, that's old news. That was a couple months ago. We saw that already, but thank you for that. That's cool. Agree. Kirk, nor Epstein. We're not going to figure it out. Stop. And then buy my book. Man, it's I'm telling you, it's so weird with Erika's Stop. Just Stop. And that's the title of Charlie Kirk's new book on the Sabbath. And it's like, wow, this is just bizarre, man. It's weird. You know, it also is weird. There was one part, and maybe I'll show it here because I think this is context here. Let me go to this. Like, I hope you guys could tell a little bit that I'm a little bit frazzled. I don't know what to say. Usually I'm not tongue-tied. Usually I'm the guy that could just go toe-to-toe with the long-winded preacher, but I don't know. I feel like I've been duped. That's what I can say. Let's see here.
You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good. You guys are absolutely crazy.
Let me back up.
You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attacked me for sending out a tweet being like, hey, I'm good. I'm alive. We had a very productive conversation. And they were like, she got the call. She got the call. She's betrayed us. She's doing something else. I can't believe it. This has all just been a show. Calm down. Okay. What do you think happened? Erika said, stop. And then I was frozen for 4 hours. And
what's weird about this, and this is kind of crazy. This tells you we live in a simulation or something. My wife was on her way home from work. And I told her earlier, I said, man, you got to check this out. Candace Owens' podcast, like she has over 100,000 views and it hadn't started yet. Over 100,000 views, people waiting on standby. And they're all commenting, I'm hoping she doesn't sell out. I'm hoping she's not a shill. I hope she's not going to open up the show with Shabbat Shalom and all this kind of stuff, right? And so my wife is listening, and all of a sudden, the part where Candace Owens goes, what, was I like frozen? And she just stops. And my wife's like, that's kind of a long pause, but it kept spinning at that part. It kept cycling to try and play, and it never played until she got home. That's the exact spot that it froze. And for me, that's like, what are we, in some kind of a video game? Like, it was bizarre. So I say that because it's interesting that my wife was listening to Candace and shared it with my daughter as well. But anyways, so she's frozen right there. All right, let's continue a bit.
And 30 minutes, just like, as I just put all of these talking points into my head. That is not what happened. I keep telling you guys, I am not governable. I am basically akin to Kanye West.
They cut out the part where she was, where did it go? Oh yeah, right here. Okay, this part.
You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people. Okay, you guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people.
Skip? Let's go back here. It's weird. Okay.
You guys are absolutely.
Why does it skip ahead? Okay, we'll listen to this. Oh, here it is.
Okay, you guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. The amount of people who attack.
Yeah, so it's bizarre, right? Okay. You know, I don't like to turn like this against someone that I really admire. It's not easy for me, but because I have a Black Swan channel, I got to keep it real. And this feels off-putting. I've never felt that in years watching her stuff. I've never felt that. And now it feels like my blinders have come off. Like I've broken free from some kind of a spell. I don't know. It's weird. And I keep using the word dupe, but it's kind of like you get under a bit of a like some kind of hypnosis or something, and you're like, oh yeah, that could be, yeah. Like I still think it's weird. Mikey McCoy walked away before even seeing Charlie Kirk shot. That's the only question I wanted answered in the whole 1 hour episode today. That's it. That's all I wanted. Why, like point blank, ask Erika Kirk, why on God's green earth did Mikey McCoy walk away? Why was he on the phone? So we're going to jump right to that part because I think that is the most interesting part of the whole show, because it's weird and crazy and all kinds of stuff. But the rest of it is, it's basically just, it's nothing that we didn't know already. It's weird. And she spent 4.5 hours with Erika and this other guy. It's weird. It's weird, guys. It's really weird. Okay, let's have a look at the 23-minute mark, I believe. It's where she starts talking about the phone log. So there, again, everything else is kind of like, honestly, it was like you don't really learn anything brand new, right? So let's go, I think, right here somewhere.
And I've apparently, or I feel as though I spoke to more people than they have. I spoke, both of the people who filmed videos that day told me that they weren't reached out to. So I don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand the confidence, I guess, is the best way to say this. I told them I do not understand the confidence that is happening. Now, another really big thing that happened was they brought me Mikey's call logs, okay? They brought me Mikey's call logs, and that is why I said this was a productive meeting. There is no other way to say it. I asked every question, and they came with...
So when she mentioned that, the call logs, my ears perked up. I'm like, ooh, let's roll up the sleeves because this is going to be good. This is going to be real good. Just you wait. You think I'm kidding?
Paperwork to show and to answer and to explain certain things. Also, which was, I thought, actually kind of sweet, that I guess I did on the previous show. I was like kind of looking at things into Mikey and I couldn't find him. And someone said, I think Mikey's not his like real name. Like they thought it was his middle name, actually.
This I couldn't care less about, honestly. About their faith, different things. Could not care less. We're talking about Charlie Kirk being murdered. I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they don't speak very well, if they give you weird vibes, all this kind of stuff. We have to eventually get past that stuff.
And I just assumed, okay, well, maybe he's using his middle name and that's why I can't find him. But Mikey really wants you guys to know that is his real name. And it is his real name. I found out shortly thereafter that they were confusing his middle name with, they thought it was switched. That Michael is his real name, just to clarify that, because I realized I actually didn't go back and clarify that. But Mikey's call logs, big piece of this, okay? I'm going to, I guess, jog your memory on what Blake said about Mikey that day, and then I'll tell you what actually happened, because I don't think Blake has that great of a memory. Okay, take a listen.
I have a good memory. So let's listen to this, because I remember this when he was saying this stuff.
So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left.
Liar, right out of the gate. I don't trust this guy as far as I could throw him. When you have an assassination right before your very eyes and you can't remember where you were, I'm telling you, everything becomes etched. Everything, where you are, the smell, the flavor, the sounds, everything becomes etched in your mind. And he doesn't remember where Mikey was, doesn't know if he's in front of him, behind him, whatever it is. It's weird. This is a weird story.
And then we get out and I run for, can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realize there hasn't been another shot. So the shooter has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me and I see Mikey there. And I will never forget
when they say truthfully, it's always like, I can run far in 20 seconds. I didn't see Blake Neff anywhere near Mikey McCoy, anywhere near him at all. It's kind of weird that they have a bit of a snake. Oh, I see. That's a scripture verse about treading on serpents. But it's interesting that they have a serpent in their background. Just saying. I noticed stuff like that. Thank you for noticing my sweater. I appreciate that. I plan on wearing it each day leading up to Christmas, and then probably after Christmas, I'll stop wearing my Christmas sweater. But thank you. I know some of you have mentioned that you like the look of the sweater, so thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, I feel like this guy is lying constantly.
I saw, because I've seen Mikey almost every day for the past 2 years. I know his personality very well. He's a very bubbly guy. He's a very happy guy almost all of the time. And I'll never forget what I saw, because it was clear in the moment that he was profoundly freaked out. What I'll always remember is the way his lip was quivering, which I'd never seen before. And you very rarely see from someone that he was freaking out. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was,
I might be imagining this. This guy sounds like a snake.
And then he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erika. And then he takes his phone and he begins calling Erika. And I don't want to disclose how that call unfolded.
Sure, because you probably can't remember because your timeline's all screwed up right now. So you ran for about 20 seconds. You look around, you're not sure if he's in front of you or behind you, but you notice his lip going. And then you notice him pick up his phone, pull it out of his pocket, dial Erika, and say, Erika, your husband has been assassinated. And then hang up and then call your dad. Dad, Charlie's been assassinated. Pray for him. Wife, how are you? Guess what? Charlie's been assassinated. Like, it's weird. This is weird stuff. And I wish that Candace honed in on this and said, Blake Neff there's something suspicious about him. It's weird.
But he did that. Your mind extends all of this, but that is happening within a minute of all of this occurring. I remember he calls Erika. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see.
I somehow pictured him living in his mom's basement. I don't know if he's married or not, but I kind of pictured him, so it's not kind of a stretch, even though I'm in the basement right now, but I'm not living with my mom. No offense to my mom. I would live with my mom, but I'm married. I'm just saying that I could see Blake Neff living in a basement because he's calling his mom. Like, Mom. And then you hang up, like all these people that are making calls and hanging up. What does that do to the person on the other side of the phone? Like, you wouldn't hang up, would you? Like, you'd be like, I got to get somewhere quiet so I can tell you what happened. I'm okay, or whatever it is, or you don't call until later. I don't know. Anyways.
On the news, I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call.
Like when you're being shot at, again, this is me. I haven't been shot at, but I'm thinking the last thing I'm going to do is stand around and grab my phone and make some phone calls. Like, you got to know that you're safe first, obviously. But he did it within 15, 20 seconds, within a minute.
And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy, and he says, Dad, someone shot Charlie. You need to call all of your pastor friends. Charlie was hit. We need everyone to pray right now.
So how do you know if you're on the phone with your mom? You guys are listening to each other, transcribing each other's phone calls? Or did you have a conversation afterwards as to actually what went down? It's weird.
And that's what he told him.
Okay, so that's just not right. And so when he says, I might be imagining this, for I'll never forget, followed by I might be imagining this, probably means that maybe you forgot and like you really could be imagining. Now, for me personally, I think the normal physiological response in these high adrenaline situations for most people is you lock in. That they're literally your body, when it goes through something, when it's terrified and it's going through like sort of like you are really paying attention to details, we've learned about this many times over in health class growing up. This is why they talk about that fight or flight response, and quite literally there's stuff happening to your body. And so there's a lot of details here that are just not accurate. And the one that surprised me the most about these call logs is I certainly feel that we were given the impression over and over and over again that the first person Mikey called was Erika, right? He called Erika. He was we were told this by
Let's see the phone
many
logs.
people
Get to the
also,
phone
that
logs.
he trained like he almost like went to a camp and trained, and Charlie was like 1, 2, 3 go, and like fast 1, 2, 3 go. That's why he walked away. 1, 2, 3 go, and just told him this is what the first thing you do is. Well, he didn't do that. Actually, the first person he called was his wife. He called Elizabeth McCoy. And
see, this is the Candace that I like. When you're just like funny, bold, daring, call it like it is. That's what I appreciated about her.
And then he stayed on the phone with his wife for 10 minutes. And during those 10 minutes, he 3-wayed Erika 3 minutes after the shot went off. And then he 3-ways his father. And then
Okay, so he's been on the phone with his wife, Elizabeth. This is where if you're watching this from home, or maybe you're just listening to this as you're driving or whatever, but basically what Candace is showing right now is Mikey McCoy's call logs, which again, this is all typed out. It's not actual call logs, but it's the call logs that they presented to Candace Owens. So 12:02, Danny McCoy calls Mikey McCoy. Danny McCoy calls Mikey, okay. 12:23. It's weird that Danny calls Mikey at 12:02. Well, I guess, but you're at an event. You can't really, like, Mikey was on, who was it? Was it Mikey? Was it Blake Neff? Someone said that Mikey McCoy was actually recording for a live stream what was happening there. He was taking footage, photos, all kinds of stuff as he was following Charlie Kirk in. He was filming Charlie Kirk, tossing hats into the crowd, all this kind of stuff. So I guess 20 minutes before that, his brother calls. And then at 12:24, Charlie brought to the SUV by his security detail. Charlie brought to the SUV. Either I can't read, but this kind of Charlie has been brought to the SUV by a security detail. Okay, duh. 2024, still the same time. So 1 minute after, Mikey McCoy calls Elizabeth McCoy. Again, we were all told that he called Erika first, but he called his wife, which kind of makes sense. But they stay on the phone the whole time, and I'm telling you, Mikey McCoy was already on the phone before Charlie Kirk got shot. There's proof of it. You could see him on the phone doing something. And then the second Charlie got shot, he didn't even look at Charlie, and he put the phone up to his ear and walks away. So that means he was on the phone with Elizabeth. They're trying to say with these call logs that he called her 1 minute later. So now we have a liar, Blake Neff, lying his face off, saying, I'll never forget this. His lip was quivering. But beyond that, I can't remember. I'm just imagining everything else. Yeah. Oh, these people just want to make me cuss. I get so upset. And it takes a lot to make me cuss. I'm telling you. I'm biting my lip right now, like Mikey McCoy. So dumb. This is so dumb, guys. They stayed on the phone for 10 minutes. Blake Neff calls his mother. Again, who cares? Call will last 45 seconds. Mom, Charlie Kirk shot. Click. 12:25. So 2 minutes later, Blake Neff's phone call ends with his mother. 12:26. Mikey McCoy adds Erika to the call. So Elizabeth is on the phone. Mikey's on the phone and now calls Erika. Don't you want it to be private? Or do you care? I guess you don't care. And then 2 minutes later, Mikey McCoy then adds his father, Rob, to the phone call with him and Elizabeth. So 3-way. Rob never mentioned that in any of his messages. All he said was, My magnificent Mikey McCoy, my son, called me with blood all over him. Blood on his hands, said, Dad, they shot Charlie Kirk. Lying. He's a liar too. All liars. Okay. Mikey McCoy drops Erika from the phone call. Then Mikey adds his father, Rob, to the phone, calls with him and Elizabeth. Mikey McCoy ends the call 2 minutes later with Rob McCoy at 12:34. So this is 11 minutes after Charlie Kirk has been, 10 minutes after Charlie Kirk he's already gone in the SUV. So they took basically 1 minute. They took him to the SUV within 1 minute. So while Blake Neff was trying to watch Mikey McCoy watching his lip quiver, he missed the whole security going by him. They ran past him. Again, doesn't make sense at all. Drops Erika from the phone call. Mikey McCoy as his dad. Mikey McCoy ends his phone call with Rob McCoy. 12:34. Mike McCoy ends his phone call with Elizabeth McCoy. So he stayed on the phone with her for 12 minutes. Whoever that person is, let's give him the benefit of the doubt that it was Elizabeth. He was on the phone for a lot longer than that. He was on the phone with someone before Charlie Kirk got assassinated. It's weird that whoever that is, if it is Elizabeth, according to these records, these typed in records, I'd still like to see the phone calls actually, because it's too weird. I've never heard of that, a three-way call at the same time under pressure. They're messing with something here. They're messing with the timeline to make it fit the narrative. Something is weird. Danny McCoy calls Mike McCoy again. They will stay on the phone for another 10 minutes. So this Danny McCoy guy, basically, he's on the phone with Mikey McCoy before Charlie Kirk was assassinated and after. I'm thinking if whoever that person was, Danny McCoy, you can say it was Elizabeth, whatever, I would call that person Mystery X. Somebody was, Mikey McCoy was on the phone with somebody before Charlie Kirk got killed, after he got killed for another 10 minutes or so. That seems to make the most sense, that he was on the phone with one person. I don't care. You can make up stuff and say he called 4 people, 5 people at once, whatever. He was clearly on the phone before Charlie got assassinated, and he ran away. He ran away on the phone talking to someone. Don't know why. It's just bizarre, man.
A third person who he's this entire calling people names and saying all this stuff. It allows people to go, okay.
Like, again, there's nothing here. And then she talks about New York Post's latest hit on her and her family. Then she goes on to Tim Pool's latest rant about her. And then she does a few commercials about products that she's selling. And then the live stream, she talks about a little bit that was kind of weird that they went live, or they said that they weren't live or going, like they were going to do almost like a ceasefire, but they went live anyway. Turning Point, which is kind of weird. And then they interviewed this guy, Viva Free, former litigator, to explain, I guess, how the court system works and all this stuff. And it's just, I don't know. It's just weird. It's weird stuff. I'm telling you, the whole thing is weird. I just, man, I'm so disappointed. Like, honestly, I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting that. And I don't, like, in her last few minutes of her show, she said, I got some interesting news that will tie these Egyptian planes to Israel. It's all about Israel, Israel, Israel. And I'm like, you lost me, Candace. You lost me. Now you're back on Israel again. Like, you just got back from Turning Point. You didn't really give us anything. You gave us a few talking points. You said, he said, she said. You apologized a numerous amount of times. Like, I'm shocked how many times you said you got things wrong and apologized for it. It's weird. I've never seen her like this. And tomorrow you think people are going to watch your show as you try and tie in Egyptian planes with Israel and how they're connected to this? You lost us. Kind of at hello. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's just what I'm feeling right now, folks. And I'm telling you, I was her biggest fan. But now these guys like Tim Pool, the guys that I don't really like, they're going to be all grandiose tomorrow. Tonight, tomorrow, you're going to hear Candace Owens being raked through the coals. This could be it for her. This could be it, from being number one on YouTube to being the bottom within a week. After Christmas, I feel like she'll be a has-been. That's what I feel right now. This is what I'm feeling. And if you asked me this 72 hours, I would have said, no way, Jose. She is riding into the sunset. I think she's done by the time we hit the sunset. By the time we hit the darkest day, which is this Sunday, and I'll be doing a live show talking about it actually gets lighter after the darkest day. So we're talking about Isaiah 9:2 as we enter into the Christmas season. But I think for Candace Owens, it feels like she had the brightest time. And I honestly thought that was it for Turning Point. I honestly did. I thought they're done. But now I'm not so sure. I think Candace is done. Because if you can't talk about Charlie Kirk, what is she going to do now? Go back to Brigitte? Go back to saying that she's a man? How much, like, I think what's happening is we're getting Candace fatigue right now. We're experiencing it. And again, if you told me this 72 hours, I would have said no. I would have put my hand on the Bible and said, no way, man. This is, we're in. We're in for life. And then when she came back after a meeting with Erika, it feels off. This doesn't feel like this is her being like, I'm going to start messing people up. I'm going to just bulldoze people. She seemed like a tame puppy. If I'm being honest. Felt like a pussycat. I don't know. Let's go to the comments here and see if I'm crazy. I'm going to work my way backwards. She has been and has been for me, as soon as she started in on Netanyahu and spreading even more anti-Semitism into this world. I've heard that a lot, and I've been trying to defend Candace, going, I get it. Like, Israel does some crazy stuff, but she kind of pushes the envelope a little bit. I'm like, oh man, Candace, stop. Too much. Too much. The Lord cannot be happy with the stuff Owens has been spewing for years now. They're all following a script, and we're all being had. That's what it feels like right now. Annie Gray, I feel the same, Shane. Candace is total bull crap, and I've been waiting for you, Shane, to figure this out. Yeah, I know. A few people have been waiting for me. But you know what? Like, I hope. What did she say she got wrong? She got wrong. A little example. The name Mickey, she got that wrong. She said something about Andrew sending a text saying that Charlie was going to be murdered. She doesn't say that she was wrong, but she didn't actually see it. She just said that it was a he said, she said. So she was right on that part. But it's little tiny things that it felt like she backed off on. Little tiny stuff that you're like, she's not really doubling down on this stuff. Like, these people are lying. She backed off the idea. I'm sorry that I said you shouldn't give any money to Turning Point. She turned on that. She stopped saying that. She apologized for that. So it's little things like that she's cleaning up, almost like PR work. Like somebody that is doing her public relations are saying, Candace, you can't say this stuff. You have to tone it down when it comes to Turning Point because you're losing friends. Again, proving I think it was Tim Pool's point or someone else. Maybe it was Josh Hammer. I can't remember the guy, but someone said, who are her friends on Patrick David Bet? And I had to think about that. And I'm like, yeah, you got a point there. Like, she didn't go to her best friend's funeral, which, again, you don't get that chance again. You don't get that chance again. That is gone forever unless you think he's alive and all this crazy conspiracy stuff, which I'm not willing to go down that rabbit hole. I'm not. Like, I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I hate to say it, but I'm almost done with this rabbit hole, is what I feel. I feel fatigued heading into Christmas that we're not going to get to the bottom of this stuff. We're just not, is what it feels like. And instead, we're going to be spinning our wheels and going, Israel, Israel, Israel did it. And I get it at the beginning. It kind of sounded like a little bit sexy when you're like, oh, you uncovered something that nobody's ever thought of. But then if that's all you talk about after a while, it starts to get a little bit old. Like, it starts, like, I can only stay on the topic for so long. You give me a couple of weeks and then I'm kind of moving on with stuff, right? I might come back and revisit something, but I can't go on forever talking about one subject. That's not in my DNA whatsoever. You guys know me. But I hope you can respect the idea that if something feels off, I'm going to say it even with the people that I really admire, I really like. Like, I'm telling you, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens was at the tippity top for me when it came to all the conspiracy stuff and all the, the right wing stuff, all this kind of, I'm like, yeah, give me some more porridge, give me some more of that. I was eating it all up. But now I'm like, well, I'm full. I'm actually full right now. Thanks, guys. I don't need any more, is what I feel, honestly. And when you scroll through 25,000 plus comments and they're all negative towards Candace, she's done. I'm just being honest with you. If my comments were all negative, I think I'd be done. I'm like, I gotta close my computer here. So thank you guys for still sticking around and being like, not totally writing me off as a crazy kook. I do like going down rabbit holes. Honestly, I love that stuff. I eat it up every single day if I could. But I also love the Lord. I love the Lord a lot more than conspiracies. And I hope you can kind of feel me out on that. Yes, like during the week, I like making videos like this. But I also make it a priority before I go into crazy town. I always spend time reading the Bible. Like, I make sure that I do that first before I do anything else. If it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever, like, I'm almost done. I will be done by January, my 4th time through the entire Bible this year. This is the 4th time. It took me a little bit longer because I've been reading so many AI books and other stuff, right? So it kind of chips away, but still 4 times in a year is not bad when you think about it. It's not too bad. And I've read about 7 or 8 business type books, like AI books, AI Valley, Simulation Theory, just for fun, Genesis, all these other books. So I do like to read, but I make it a habit that the first thing I do is I read the Bible and I dedicate a couple of hours in the morning. I don't always read for 2 hours, but I always read. And I put a time slot between like 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning where I'm like, okay, this is my go-to time for reading the Bible. And I'll put on headphones and I'll listen to it while I'm reading a physical Bible. And then I will use highlighters, and I probably go through a pack of highlighters every month, guaranteed. I usually go through the yellow, then the pink, and then the orange. Get worn out so fast. I use a special chalk type highlighter, and I'm telling you, it's just beautiful. I feel so satisfied when I'm highlighting. I have only one Bible for that purpose. I've owned it for just over a year, and I've kind of lost track a little bit of how many times I've read it. I think I've read it about 5 times. Yeah, I'd say safely 5 times since I got this Bible. So I started last November, and it's chock full. It's almost cover to cover like John Foytier's Bible. You should see his Bible. It's got so many colors in it. There's no real rhyme or reason for me, but what I'm trying to say is I make that my priority, that if I want to go to Crazy Town, I can for a bit. But even for me, I could only take Crazy Town for so long, and then I got to get off the train and do something else. And I hope you guys can appreciate that, because again, I'm trying to always uncover truth. I'm trying to not just go down a rabbit hole to go down there just for fun, but I truly wanted to see who was responsible for killing Charlie Kirk, and I don't think we're ever going to solve that one. I don't think so. I think Tyler is going to get executed. Kind of looks like right now they're dragging it out to May, is what I heard, before Erika Kirk gets a chance to speak at the trial. May. You're going to talk about Charlie Kirk till May? Are you kidding me? That's way more than like OJ Simpson, his trial when that went on. It was every day, and I know people that watched it for, I think it was, the trial was like for 2 years. I'm like, not for me. I'm going to go out and throw a frisbee around or something. I'm starting to get that feeling here that this trial is going to be over next Christmas, is what I'm feeling, unless Tyler does something weird and they execute him like tomorrow or something weird. I don't know. This is going to drag out. And there's other conspiracies I want to cover. I want to talk about, not that the Australia shooting is a conspiracy, but I want to spend a little bit of time on that and figure out what happened there. I also want to talk about Rob Rayner, because he used to be on, I think, what was that show called? Archie Bunker. He was Meathead. But he made so many fantastic movies. And the whole narrative around that is that his son Nick murdered him and his wife, slit their throats. And 100% of the media that we know tell the truth. They're all saying Nick did it. 100%. There's no doubt here. Close this case. And I'm saying, hold on here. Hold on 1 second. When 100% of the media says that this is a slam dunk, that gives me an opening for the Black Swan to say there could be more to this story, because I watched an interview with Nick and his dad, and there didn't seem to be anything off. Not to say that's the tell-all sign, but Rob and Nick got along on set like they made this last movie, Charlie, which is interesting. Charlie, what's it called? I forget. Something Charlie. They wrote the script together, and Nick was on the set every single day for like a year, and they worked together. They collaborated together like a father and son. So it's kind of weird that they mix this in with a Jewish slaughtering in Australia on Hanukkah, with a father and son slaughtering the masses, like 16 people, I think 40 were injured. And then you insert probably an assassination in itself, a murder, that they just say, no, this is just a done deal. Nick did it. Let's arrest him. He's into drugs. And so that means he's guilty right away. I don't know. Maybe this is the conspiracy in me. I feel something is off with that. Let's see here. Let's go to the comments here. This is going to be our JFK. 100% this is going to be our JFK. We may never know this. All in the Family. I was thinking that. That's the first thing I thought was All in the Family, but I was thinking it was Ed Hirsch, this other guy that I forget what that one was called. Too Close. That was a good show too. All right, let's see what else here. The only book I've ever finished and didn't understand till I listened to it All glory to God is open up to me now. I see the book of Daniel has been open to me. That's fantastic. That's awesome. Yeah, I've read the book of Daniel. I don't know how many times in the last 4 years. And there are some days where I feel like it opens up like a gentle flower. And then other days I feel like it's one of those Venus flytraps where I'm like, oh man, I had it. And then it closed up. But it's an interesting book that you can read over and over and over again. So that's awesome. Good job. What else here? Port Arthur was how Australia initially lost our firearms. That's interesting. So this person is from Australia. Interesting. Let's see. So what I'm trying to say is I think there's something fishy going on in probably not just Australia. The timing of it was weird. And I don't think it's a Muslim thing. People like to jump on that, but don't forget the Muslim was the hero of the story. That should have been front page. Muslim saves Jews from a mass shooting, but they don't do that. They don't, as far as I know, they don't portray it that way, but he should be a hero. He should get a medal, all this kind of stuff. That's what you need is heroes like that. It could have been way worse because these guys weren't stopping. They had so many bullets on them, and then they had these IEDs in their vehicle as well. So I don't know. There's something weird about that thing, and I need to take some time away from the Charlie Kirk investigation to dig deep into what happened in Australia, spend some time on Rob Reiner and see what's going on there, start flipping up some stones. And if you guys have anything as well, you could always email me at blackswandiary2022@gmail.com for hot tips. Let me know if there's something weird about a connection with Rob Reiner to Mossad, to anything else, to Egyptian planes. I don't know. Just send me a tip. And same thing with the Australian thing. If you think something seems weird, a video clip from YouTube, send it to me in a link. I'll even put it in a banner here so that you guys can see. So send it here. Black Swan Diary at 22@gmail.com. Send me links. Don't send me spam stuff. Like, no spam. But you can send me links for YouTube and just give me a little paragraph. Write a little bit about what the video is about and how long the video is. And then I can kind of sift through it and go, okay, I'll watch this one tonight or tomorrow. Or if you think it's going to be a long video, whatever it is. Obviously, I don't have a ton of time every single day to watch all these videos, but on the weekend I do. And just send me some. So again, if it's related to Rob Reiner, anything that sounds a little bit off, like mysterious, and his wife, send that to me as to maybe a reason why they were killed. Again, right now on day one, I'm leaning to not Nick, not the son. And I'm the only one. I'm the only one out there that is saying that perhaps, let's just hang on one second here. Perhaps Nick isn't the culprit that we think. Maybe, because again, Rob also made that movie, A Few Good Men, a fantastic movie, and all was not what it seemed in that show. So I think that's it for today's episode. Let me go through some more comments. Good night. God bless. Thank you, Darcy, bro. One of my buddies. Thank you for that, Repo Man. They're going to send you links to my videos for sure. Yeah, timelines. Well, that's kind of Repo Man's space, timelines, unless you're into conspiracies, Repo Man. But yeah, that's I don't want to get into your arena with timelines and stuff, but I'll send you your videos. That's funny. Send me your videos. That's funny. Okay. To dig deep into the Aussie events, you need to go back to Port Arthur Massacre and Tomasa. Bondi and Port Arthur have the same agenda. Okay, I will check that out. Thank you for that. My favorite brothers for life. Awesome. Mikey. Repo Man. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, that's it for tonight. Look at this. We are inside an hour. That is so awesome. Thank you guys. Feel free to share this video, talk about it, subscribe, leave a comment. That always helps me out when you comment and you leave a like and you subscribe. It just helps me get this video out to more people. So thanks again. I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.
Black Swan Revelations here on YouTube brought you today's mind-bending journey. Dive into the discussion, your comments, questions, prayer requests, and powerful testimonies of Jesus' love are what fuel this community. Did today's episode hit home? Smash that like button. New here? Subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss a live stream or a video upload. Thanks for being part of today's adventure. Catch you in the next video, or maybe even in the clouds. Stay curious, stay blessed.